Wikis in the Classroom Part 2. Now that you have your wiki space, how might you implement this as a tool to enhance your academic program? When we ask our students to write an essay, conduct research, or share information about a particular topic, oftentimes this work is only seen by the teacher and the student. One of the biggest mistakes we make in education is keeping the good work our students do hidden from others. Why not make the best work public? Not only does this encourage students to do better work, but it can serve as a model for others. Additionally, the teacher then has a resource to use over the course of several years. Some teachers have used their wiki spaces to ask students to create their own lessons for specific content. The students then can add voiceover on a PowerPoint, similar to what I'm doing right now through this PowerPoint. They can add an assessment module, like an online quiz, and add recommended resources or other resources such as YouTube videos or other videos. There are several ideas for using wikis with your students. One is writing a class story together. They can either do this one chapter at a time, one page at a time, or an entire story, depending on the age of your students. My class has written sideways stories from Wayside School. However, our sideways stories are from our classroom. They write their chapters. Each student writes their own chapter and posts it on the wiki. It allows others to read individual chapters and know how their chapter can fit in and what they might want to add to their story. Another option is from the Choose Your Own Adventure series. You can go online and type into your search engine Choose Your Own Adventure, and you'll get a whole list of resources that you can use to create your own class Choose Your Own Adventure story. You can create a class dictionary of vocabulary terms for each subject, and they can get added as they come up in conversation or in discussion or in the text. Perhaps they're going to share the process of a science experiment. Use the Wikispace as a journal. This is a real-life lesson on perseverance and discovery, which is the true essence of science experiments. More collaborative projects can take place where students are working on their section and adding to the Wikispace. You can use the wiki as the meeting place, which alleviates the need for after-school meeting time, which can be frustrating for kids and their parents. Collaboration can also occur between classes across the district, the state, the country, even the world. Let's take a field trip to visit a collaborative wiki from classes from 6 continents. This was one of the wikis nominated for Best Educational Use of a Wiki for 2011. It's called Greetings from the World. The purpose of this site was for other teachers and students to collaborate together, for others to learn about the world, look through a lens, and create your own lens. You can see where each participant is located. Not only do you have the map, but you also have information about all the other countries, an extensive list of resources. The lens of the week is a feature of a different country. This week's lens is on Chile. When you get a chance, you might want to go visit Glogster and create your own Glogster. A Glogster is a very cool tool. It's an interactive online poster that allows you to include music, video, all different types of content. This is the national hymn of Chile. Let's continue on our field trip and travel to the Bobcats. The Bobcats are a first grade class in Iowa. The teacher also utilized Glogsters as a way to introduce the pages. You can see from this Glogster all the different activities that the class did throughout the entire school year. All you need to do is click on one of the links below to find out more information about what they did. I'm going to go to the phone inventions. This is where the students created their own phone, complete with style and ringtones. And I want you to think about what skills are the students learning and practicing. How is this lesson different from a lesson that was completed within traditional boundaries?
Our phone is called the Cheetah Phone Rainbow. It shoots gum and flowers and takes videos and texts too. Its ring sounds like roar, grr, roar, grr. It is as big as a first grader's hand.
This teacher definitely is able to utilize her Wikispace and share it over the course of several years. This is from 2010-2011. Same teacher, same school site. Again, a lot of different options. First grade, I'm going to go to Safari Animal Webs. The kids learned about different safari animals. They read about them, talked about them in class, and then each student created their own web to share their information about their animal. This teacher has used this Wikispace in a very powerful way. Another teacher is utilizing Wikis for her science class. Students are grouped to conduct a study on a particular scientific concept, and from there they work on specific methods for demonstrating understanding the systems of the human body. You'll notice that the kids are supposed to read about the different information that the groups created for studying, and then answer these questions as part of a format or an assessment format. The assessment format is powered by Google Docs. If you have a Google account, you too can create a similar format. Also on this wiki, the teacher used the American history resources to allow easy research as part of the learning process. So these each link to a different website, PBS. You Be the Historian. This is an existing web quest that was already posted. The teacher's just utilizing this space. We're going to continue our field trip onto the greatest social studies middle school wiki in the world. This class wiki incorporates social media like Facebook, blogs, and podcasts as part of the academic process. Visitors click here. I thought this was a clever idea. The visitors that visit this site are to record a message for them saying hello and saying one thing that we did today in our native language. It says just click on leave a message. They're sharing about different ideas that they've come up with, a project on urban problems in the 19th century. A latest podcast on their Lunchtime Leader. The Lunchtime Leader podcast is where they interview leaders from around the world and find out their opinions about what students should do to prepare for the future. So each one of these are where students used Skype to interview somebody who is contributing to the world in some way, shape, or form. And then they shared their findings and their videotape with others.
Welcome to Lunchtime Leaders. Today we are interviewing Jeff Fox from Fox, Connecticut. He has been a meteorologist for 26 years. He is also a well-known blogger. Welcome, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So you get the idea. This is my class Wikispace from the class of 2010-2011. You can see over here all the different topics that they use this site for. One of the projects that they worked on was their Early Man newscast. What I did with this project was I created 2 models of videos for the kids to use as a way to share the information from our textbook on key ideas.
Everyone, meet your ancestor. You're looking at the remains of Artie, a 110-pound, 4-foot-tall woman who scientists say lived 4.4 million years ago.
That was one format the students had as an option.
Savage Stone Age.
Hello and welcome to the news at when? When? Prehistoric time, when caveman slowly evolved into modern man. Very slowly and in many different stages. Here to guide you through them is Bob Hale with the Stone Age Report. Bob.
Thanks, Sam. Well, as you can see, it's about 750,000 years ago. That, believe it or not, is Britain. And here comes the Stone Age. And there go all the stones.
It was an open-ended assignment. Use any format that you prefer. So some students followed that. They created their own podcast. Other students created a newsletter, poems, songs, all different types of activities all different types of products were included in here. An activity that we did for math was taking John Sheska's story, The Math Curse. Within our class time, we had center time twice a week. And during center time, kids signed up for a chapter of The Math Curse. And during the center time, the kids signed up for the part of the day that they were going to be responsible for with Math Curse. And we basically created videos of the entire day, starting from morning, going all the way through the day till the evening time. This continues on, where kids were cursed with the Math Curse. We started with Excellent Adventures to link all of the ancient civilizations together, so we borrowed from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and the kids created their own Excellent Adventure. So many different things can happen with the idea of using our wiki space. Dance is part of our PE program. What I liked about using the wiki space is I was able to post their dance at different stages so that they could take a step back and see themselves. But also what came out of this was students were posting their own dance steps to add to the dance. I found a dance step that I wanted the students to use.
I'm going to show you how to do Crank That Soldier Boy. It came out this past year, and without further ado, here it goes. You're going to cross front, right, you're going to hit your right foot back.
So it's not just academic topics that you can use the wiki space for, there's several other topics that you can use. What was interesting about Kerpoof, this happened to be on a day that I was going to be out. I was actually going to be out for 2 days, and on those 2 days my students were going to be using computer lab time. And I knew that the teacher that was substituting for me on those 2 days was not somebody that was tech savvy. I created this lesson so that the substitute only needed to walk the kids to the computer lab and tell them to open up this page of Kerpoof. The rest was pretty much outlined for them. It guided them through this lesson, and not only did it take them through both days of computer lab, where they did not abuse their time in the computer lab, but it also spilled beyond computer lab time, so that students were then interested in going back to this lesson when they had other time available throughout the school year. I think you have options now to begin implementing wikis into your own classroom. Include your students in the process by introducing the wiki space and then asking them to think about ways to utilize the curriculum and instruction. Once that door is open, there's no closing it. You'll be amazed at what your students come up with. Your next step is to read the article on the link just below where you found this PowerPoint. The article is entitled, How I Used Wikis to Get My Students to Do Their Reading. Then respond to the discussion board that follows the article, and then you're going to begin creating your own class wiki. You will be sharing your wiki with the rest of us, so you can either send an invite to our email addresses, which is done by going into the group participants, select all, and then under with selected users, click on Add Send Message. Or another option is to send us the link because you're going to be posting the link and let us click on join and then you just approve us. Or you can have it as a public wiki space just for the course of the next week or so. Whatever you are most comfortable with. Go to the article to read, respond to the article, and then begin creating your wiki space. When you get stuck, go back to any of the tutorials along the way. Remember, I'm available by email. Enjoy the process.